everybody. Welcome back
to the
No.
To the
We got Opria's Open Mic, episode 6, and guess who we have in the house today?
Sean Opria.
Oh, yeah, we do have him too. But we have the Nashville Beauty Girl, also Keri, a dear friend of mine, but also my face fixer. Mm-hmm. And we are here to talk all about thread
lifting.
But okay, so this is something I did recently, something that a lot of people don't understand. I was completely clueless. I'm completely clueless to everything you do. I'm just like, do whatever you think I need today.
I also do get you when you're in the middle of a rebrand. Because I kind of, when you're in the middle of a rebrand, I kind of see that. And I'm like, oh, she's ready for that next level of building her face house. So I kind of like, I do sneakily like get it in there. Because we've been together for how long? 5 years?
I'm 46, so it's almost 7 years. Mm-hmm. That's insane. So 39, 40, so right in that time frame, I had really done nothing to my face. Never had a facial. I mean, I've been in the Marine Corps, no sunscreen. I didn't even wear moisturizer, literally nothing. And I have terrible skin because I have stretch marks on my boobs, my stomach. I just don't have elasticity. Mm-hmm. So, Lord, you were put in my life for a reason.
Many reasons.
You have helped me. Yeah, many reasons. We're
the rebrand. Went from like the awkward middle school years to like the glow up in high school.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean?
Love the glow up.
Went from like seriously super ugly to amazing. That's really,
you're so sweet. And you married me in the super ugly phase. That's so sweet. Oh, yeah.
There was a song out there, "Marry You an Ugly Wife." Right? There's a
wait. Is there a song like that?
Yeah. There's a reggae song out there. Yeah.
Okay. 100%.
Okay. That's funny. But no,
Our producer will put that song title right here.
But seriously, you have changed my skin, my confidence level. It's amazing when you look in the mirror and you feel better about your skin. I'm not saying that everyone has to do it, but when you take care of your skin, which I didn't do, it is amazing the confidence, the more secure you feel in yourself.
Also, let me add that it's been a joy for me to watch, like it is most of my clients, your entire rebrand, your success. I mean, you got your own podcast. I mean, like, I'm your number one fan. I'm like, let me be on it. I have to be part of this. Like, I want to. I'm so proud of you. But for your girl that helps rebuild your confidence, watch you grow in your success level. That's my number one right there.
I mean, you're the freaking best.
No, it's part of it all. It's what's it say? When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good, and you do good, you work. And you are like,
I don't like to work.
A poster child for that.
But hey, let's go back to something you said in the very beginning. You said something about building the house of your face or the foundation. That's kind of like what I do for bodies. Mm-hmm. And I like how you said that for face. Can you kind of explain what that means?
Yes. So I think of the face as like building your face house. You have to get the soil ready. You have to get the foundation of the insulation of the house. You need anchor brackets to support certain features. But if you go straight to the anchor brackets, you're not getting the soil ready.
So basically,
what's the foundation?
So basically what you're saying on that is you can't do threads without building up to it.
Exactly.
That was actually one of the questions. And thank you for writing in those questions. That was one of them. Can you go straight to threads, or do you need other treatments first, or Morpheus is one of the questions asked.
Morpheus 8.
Thank you, Kay Alarding.
Yeah, Morpheus 8 is my workhorse. So Morpheus 8 is a radio frequency treatment that can help dissolve fat and literally shrink wrap the face. And we have done that with you, not to necessarily dissolve fat.
Was that the burn victim procedure?
Nope, that was
laser.
CO2 laser.
That was CO2 laser. That's like for pores and texture. I love this.
You called it burn victim.
But there are some situations if you have a younger person that needs a little bit of skin lifting, instead of adding volume to the cheeks of filler, for example, then they could go into thread lifting because they're
lifting earlier than
they're young and yummy. There's not a lot of like collagen repair or heaviness in the jowls. So if I'm trying to lift something heavy, you're not going to probably get the best result with thread lifting right away.
Is that what a facelift is, threads? Are we talking about the same thing?
Okay, so deep plane facelift, and that's a question. I work, with plastic surgery. I've worked in plastic surgery for 20 years. So theoretically, they are using more of a permanent suture to tie the skin to an anatomical feature or the muscle and tighten a knot.
So that was some other questions.
7 to 10 years result.
Permanent.
So, is anything really life permanent?
So what you just said, 7 to 10 years, that is an actual facelift.
That's a deep plane facelift.
Okay.
also that brings to the question, not to jump ahead, is who's a candidate? So if someone is, you got to think about it. Someone at 55, especially these days, don't necessarily look 55, but you have to think of the anatomy beneath the skin, the fat pads, the bone structure. You're losing bone, you're losing elasticity. So a lot of times if someone is like walking around like this or they're in the consult like this, I'm like, they're going to not be happy with threads. It's not going to be enough for them. Mm-hmm. So it's probably worth a surgical consult to get,
so you would call
get the result.
Threads facelift light.
I love that actually, or the ponytail lift. Like you do the tight ponytail, and it's,
I haven't ever done that one.
I do that with my hair for sure.
Yes,
I've never done that one. But so for me, we had steps before you felt like I was ready for threads.
So she had built the foundation.
And kind of what are some of those steps we did first? I know kind of what they are, but I don't understand. So you take it away.
Medical grade skincare number 1.
Which is the main one I use is Zoe, but I also love that collagen gel. Zoe products, I use all of that. I told you guys the last thing I put on my face is a collagen gel, but I use all the Zoe too.
After your makeup?
No.
Oh,
somebody.
Sorry.
No.
Well, she comes to bed with a full head of, like a full face of makeup. Right?
Does not every woman go to bed with a full face of makeup?
No. She comes in with a full face of makeup and lingerie every night. And so I was wondering if the collagen was like after that.
Sean lives in his fantasy world. That's Sean's fantasy world. I do not.
So do you ever sneak her products?
No. You've done wonderful. But you didn't supply the lingerie or the heels she comes to bed in, but a lot of the face products.
No, but I did.
Amazing.
I did help get her confidence level up to do all those
things. To wear the lingerie.
Yeah, my wife's confidence level had nearly nothing to do with you. We're very happy with everything you've helped Erin with. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Well, no, I do think that
a lot of guys.
She's been pretty sure she's been right about everything well before you.
Oh no! Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole nother podcast right there, isn't it?
All right, so let's go over some of the stuff that you did to help me before we got to threads.
Yes. So you mentioned also too that you felt that your skin was like very losing laxity. Like you don't have very elastic skin, and their skin comes in all different shapes or forms. It's hereditary. It's sun damage. I mean, you were protecting our country for so long out in the crazy sun,
and I never wore sunscreen.
Exactly.
Terrible.
Exactly. But that's kind of typical. I mean, it's not everyone that is so gun-ho about prevention and even the education on how to prevent your skin from aging more. And with your skin type, and I would say 90% of my patients too have gone through some type of weight loss. If as you get older and you lose weight, you get better in shape. You're gonna look older because you're losing fat, and we need fat in our face. And so that's where a product called Sculptra comes in. And Sculptra is an injectable. It's not filler, that makes the skin quality thicker and better. And so back to the face house.
But wait, the Sculptra has collagen builder.
It's a collagen inducer. Yeah. So it's going to make your collagen thrive, better quality. The fine lines that you see.
It's a syringe of filtered fat.
Kind of. It's like a booster. Yes.
A booster.
It's like
I'm trying to break it down Barney style.
Like you put it in and you don't really, it takes time for that one to actually go into effect. Sculptra.
Like all non-surgical treatments.
You need like a month to really see the results of Sculptra.
So Sculptra is injected underneath the skin. And what you see right away is a water volume. Your tissues absorb that water, but the magical crystals that are in Sculptra that make your skin look so young take about 30 days to do
Wait, did you get this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I've had 3 rounds of it.
Yeah. I put it all over the body.
Can I get
Sculptra
better jawlines?
That is where I use another product that add volume to the jawline. And you are a great candidate.
You are a great
candidate. Let me tell you, the power of a masculine jawline.
I know, right?
That confidence is like no other.
I just need to chew more gum. Like multiple pieces of gum.
It's gonna build up his jaw muscles.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
All right. So we were saying, so that you said build the house again. That's where we're at, and I cut you off for Sculptra. Sorry. And so what else would you say before? So we did the Morpheus 8. I do Morpheus 8 a couple times a year.
Yes. So Morpheus 8 is going back to getting the soil ready for the house. So it's going to target deep fat all the way up to pores and texture. And it has the capability to almost shrink wrap your face. It's inducing your collagen. It's you have ligaments around your fat pads that start to drop and feel heavy. So Morpheus 8 pretty much puts like a whip to that fat pad and those ligaments to shrink wrap your face up. Everyone sees great results with Morpheus, and that might even be a whole other podcast because there's so many questions on Morpheus, and people think it hurts and all the things, but so that's a whole nother.
So I think we'll do lots of different podcasts. I want to do different sections. I want to really focus this one on threads just because it's the most recent one I did.
And it's on trend.
So, is it?
Yeah.
I'm on trend, baby. I didn't even know it.
Yes. Out of nowhere.
I'm cool, dude.
Wow.
Did you know I was cool?
I know you're cool.
All right. So threads. So literally we had to build the house before we get there. So there is things that you want to do before you do threads. Mm-hmm. But what
for best results?
For best results. I guess you could do them, but you might not always be happy with them, right? If you did them.
It might not give that full result if there's a lot of heaviness on the lower half of the face that I am trying to lift, because you got to think, so what are threads? I mean, threads are I know, right? They're minimally invasive, and they are a suture that is dissolvable.
Okay.
That is placed into the dermis of the skin.
People asked about that.
Yes, it's dissolvable. There's different threads on the market. I use the most popular one, I think, and then I feel like the safest and the most durable and the most realistic is called PDO threads. And so the PDO threads have been around for a long time, but they are dissolvable. It's the same type of thread that surgeons or plastic surgeons use to stitch up the skin after surgery. They're going to dissolve. The ones that they use to support anatomical features are not dissolvable. And that's like what we were talking about earlier.
But they're still pretty tough. They eventually dissolve.
Yes,
they last,
so
how long do they last?
There's little anchors on them.
Okay.
And so the anchors it's injected in, it's placed in the dermis to give a light
Show them where the dermis
lift.
is.
The dermis is underneath.
Yeah,
it's literally a piece of paper.
Show them where the dermis is.
It's under one layer of the skin?
Exactly.
Under one layer of the skin.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So we're not going super deep, but they have to be placed in a proper level plane of the skin to get the best result, and so you don't see
the thread
or have any adverse effects.
Like a suture string.
It's a suture string.
Okay.
The string hangs out. So we're going to put a video at the end.
There's going to be a video. Yeah,
there's going to be a video at the end that you guys can watch the whole thing. If you're just listening to this on like Apple, then you'll be able to listen to it. But you can watch the whole video of how she does it too.
So
they are weird. They are weird to watch, and it makes people scared of them.
Random question, but let's say Erin's playing on the ground with her dogs, and one of them headbutts the junk out of her jaw. Does it snap? And suddenly your right side of her face looks like she had a stroke?
Oh, no.
Okay.
They're not like that. But
see, that's it.
That can look that way when you're watching it being done, whether you're watching it on TikTok or wherever you're watching it from a platform. It's like that looks crazy. But they're called vectors. And the vectors are areas of the face that cause you to see the symptom, which normally is like in the middle of your face. So for example, if you're sitting in my chair and you're complaining of under eye circles, tear trough, and heaviness in the folds or lips, all of that is happening because there's something happening back here. This is the disease. We're losing volume from back here, which is falling forward. So you're seeing the symptom. I'm treating the disease so that you look natural that you're pulling up the reason of what you're seeing.
Can we call it a disease?
Yeah. There we go.
Like you, Sean, I have a very elaborate vocabulary to describe my treatments.
Let me tell
you
why you're sick. Your face is falling down.
Exactly.
My face sure was falling south. Like I had line after line after line, but she sewed me back. And my threads are holding like it. But you said you did a minimum amount of threads. So is there an amount that you can do of threads?
You definitely can add. So I started with you to bring up the folds around the mouth and the complaints of the midfacial lines. So yours started here to lift this area. It's almost like taking a tablecloth that's wrinkled and spreading it out tighter. So after we improved your skin quality with Sculptra, I used the threads because you don't need cheek filler. I just needed to lift you so you can actually see your cheekbone, the tissue, and then pull up the area that you're mostly complaining about.
When you pull like a tablecloth tight, that extra fabric has to go somewhere.
Exactly. So that goes to say of how much traction on the skin you're really getting with threads. Because I'm not going to sit here and say this is a facelift. You have to all do that.
Okay. So some people who haven't done anything else, you can't do threads just because it's going to have a bunch of folds back here.
Yeah, sometimes there's just too much skin, and that's where you're a surgical option or at least a surgical consult.
Okay.
Yes, and then but also, I feel and I see there's different thread options. So that was another popular question is like, my doctors say that that's not a good solution for me. Maybe they're going into a facelift or maybe, so there's many different qualifications that can make threads not be a good, maybe a good match for all the different patients.
Like you already have a great face.
Like you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you, men,
you're just gorgeous.
I have a lot of men thread clients.
Okay.
Yes.
So I actually had someone say, a doctor said that if you have threads, you can never do a facelift.
See, with dissolvable threads,
so that's what
I'm
makes
talking
it
about, they actually are a byproduct of sculptra. So after around 4 months, the threads start dissolving, but the struts that I created are still there and lifting. I have threads. I got them back in February. I feel like personally, mine look better now, 6 months later, than they did when I even got them.
And how long do you expect them to last?
So threads last about a year, but two different things I'm saying is that when you do the multiple modalities prior to threads, meaning that you're targeting the lower face, heaviness, you're building your face house, threads are like the anchor bracket of the house, like the last thing you do to kind of help and support what you've already done. And I feel like that gives you more longevity with your results. I also will consult and tell patients about doing a booster. That's how I feel it really puts you over the edge of getting even more longevity when you repeat the threads around 8 months to a year to get even more longevity. So that will be next
for me.
There's also a few other vectors, which we were talking about earlier, that you did not get. I started you minimal because you like to do your workouts. I knew that if I told you, yes, and I hit the main area that she was focused on to make her experience it. I can talk to y'all all day long about threads and all the different things, but once you experience it and you experience like, oh, that wasn't as painful. Oh, I see my results. I'm even seeing them better in the next, 6 weeks to 6 months. Then I can like further go with my plan, because I'm always like scheming, to lift the jawline. There's different vectors on the face that you can do with threads. Yes, I started you minimal because some of the things you have to think about after you get threads are things that you can and can't do.
Okay, that's actually a great question. What are the things that you shouldn't do after you do threads, and for how long should you not do them?
Lifting.
A few people have asked about recovery. Sorry.
Yeah. So for about a week, you want to avoid like heavy lifting. And I know that you like to do your workouts and everything. Yeah. So that's why I started you minimal, because you'll say that you won't do it, but I know you will, because you will. And you're going to have, most of the patients, it's kind of a thing, like when I'm showing videos on it on social, you have little Band-Aids on the side of your face. So if you have a meeting the next day, you're doing something, you're going to have little Band-Aids on, and that's to prevent infection and to prevent products and makeup and whatsoever.
And don't be ashamed of it. Who cares?
Oh, Band-Aids. I'm going to make Band-Aids cool. I promise. I'm going to make
Nellie already made Band-Aids cool on the face. So I appreciate you.
But the answer is don't be ashamed of doing stuff to better your skin. People get embarrassed to talk about it. I was like, why be embarrassed?
No, I believe in sharing.
I have no shame.
I have no shame. I think that's why we're such a pair.
We're definitely in a new world, though. There's a little less shame in that.
Yeah, true. All right. So, what were we saying? What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the longevity of recovery. Yes.
Oh, and so you can't sleep on the side of your face.
You are sore. You want to stay upright or elevated when you're sleeping for the next few days. You're going to be sore. The number one word that I have my patients even validate with me is like, tell me the one word that comes to your mind after I've done the threads on you.
Or I know what I would say.
What
the weird feeling you're going to get.
It's weird.
It's a weird feeling you're going to get up in your head, and you're going to be like, I got an aneurysm coming. What's this?
No. Oh my gosh, you're gonna scare everyone.
No, but you feel like there's a really sharp.
They're little sensations.
Yes, and you cannot explain it.
It's just weird. Like it's like the number. It's weird. You might feel like a little poke, a little like zinger. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden you just feel a little something, a little burning sensation as the skin's gone. But it comes and goes, and it's. If
it ain't burning, it ain't working.
But it literally happens for like.
There's something to say about that.
It literally happens for like a second or two, and then it's gone. And it happens for the first couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
And then that's it.
It comes and goes.
And then I didn't have it anymore after that.
That's very common.
And now I can't feel it at all. But I remember, so at first there was like some swelling, and you said, and I had to go to my Marine Corps reunion, and I was like, I'm really swollen. What should I do? And you're like, just massage it. And it goes pop, pop. I was like, sometimes did I break my threads?
No, sometimes you feel little pops, and they're not like threads where it's almost like we're
so freaky.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah, it's normal to feel little pops. It doesn't mean that you broke your threads. They're not that thick.
Massaging it, touching it is okay.
But when I'm going to say pain level, like.
So you could sleep on it. It's just that it's annoying. It's not like you're going to ruin it if you roll on your side.
Right. You know what? When you hit something and it's sore, it's like, so you kind of adjust.
The best description of what it feels like. You know when you have a really big under the skin zit and you push on it? That's what it feels like. You have really big under the skin zit.
You're giving yourself those?
And it felt like that in my
That's awful.
But eventually they just pop and they go away. Just kidding. No, like eventually it's not very long. It was short-lived.
Yes, yeah.
But it's like, feels like an under the skin zit right here. So if you lay on it, it feels like you're putting pressure against an under the skin zit. But
that's a good one.
It's so temporary. And
it's temporary.
Sometimes you just do stuff and you deal with the little uncomfortableness. I wouldn't call it excruciating. Some people might. And so and you're going to ask, was it painful doing it? No, because you do lidocaine.
Oh yeah, all my patients that you see on video too they're not just laying there like a porcelain doll, and I have I've put them to sleep. Like they're all comfortable. They're not screaming and screaming around. But it's because I'm properly numbing you, and it's with the lidocaine injection. And the lidocaine injections are just a little bit spicy. They burn a little bit.
A little bit.
That's the worst.
I don't remember that, but you said that, and Neil said that too.
Yes, yeah. They do. Yes.
We have a couple of people asking about like jawline. You kind of said that there's more to it than just threads, but can the threads help with, say, the neck, the turkey neck, that kind of see the loose neck?
Absolutely.
But it's also not just threads. I'm getting from your conversation. There are other things involved, but in the end, it could help.
It is definitely helping because you're lifting a vector, and then the threads can also be placed into the neck.
Okay, so it's more of that stuff that's coming down.
So when I get these vectors of the threads in first, then after I let them settle for like 4 to 6 weeks, if the patient has a lot of laxing in the neck, then we can apply. We can do the threads like through the neck to kind of tighten this area too.
That's going to help me a lot when I'm older and I need to shave on my neck.
But you have that's not fair. Y'all have hair, and it's normal for guys to have scruff and hair. Girls do not get that.
No, but like when you have to trim it up, and I got turkey neck later on in life, threading that stuff the heck out of the way. Yeah, I already got an Adam's apple. You know how hard it is to shave around an Adam's apple? You just slice
I haven't done that.
Tell us how hard it is.
It is very difficult.
Okay.
It's like you got a knuckle coming out of where you're trying to put a razor.
So many issues. Hey, what's the next question?
So this came up quite a bit, actually. Why would, you're very calm when you say this. Like, come talk to me. Get a consultation. We'll talk about threads. Not a problem. But then some people go to their doctors and they're very against threads. What is going on there?
I think it's determining which type of threads they're using, that they're not a metal thread or dissolvable thread. Maybe the patient...
the doctor thinks it's what type of thread?
They might...
Maybe the doctor's using a different type of threads. That's why he says it's not a good idea.
There's a few types of threads out there. So when you say threads in general, you might have doctors that say, I absolutely don't agree with them, or they're a surgeon. So of course they're going to talk to you about plastic surgery and surgical options. And it might just be that type of patient, their concerns are they're not going to get what their expectations want to be from threads because they have a lot more going on that's surgical. Maybe their skin quality. There might be a
little different because they're going to a doctor that they trust, right?
Right.
And so let's put aside for the fact that the doctor's not trying to just take their money.
No, I don't.
Right, right. Like there could be people out there like that.
Sure.
That doesn't bother me.
Sure.
But nonetheless, this doctor they trust, they go to, and they said, "Hey, I don't really recommend threads." What do you think they could be talking about? The non-dissolvable threads.
I think they could be talking about the threads that are not non-dissolvable, or they're a little bit more rough in the tissue to where if this patient was more of a surgical candidate, they just weren't ready for it yet, that it can make the doctor's job a little bit harder.
So there are certainly types of threads that you don't use.
I really enjoy the dissolvable threads.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then the placement of the threads. I think there's also, and it's just, threads are on trend, yes, but there's also threads that aren't maybe placed correctly, and doctors are going to see that when the patient is complaining. They're just,
in your professional opinion, call those doctors dumb.
No.
Would you?
No.
Oh, sorry. It's an open mic moment.
No,
you know what I mean?
that.
I'm really trying to pull the just like the hard hit.
I believe of course, I work with a great doctor, a great plastic.
Oh,
and I
believe is amazing.
Yeah, so it's a team.
He did my boobies.
Yes, he's done a lot. Yeah, we have been underneath his knife for sure. Yes,
boob lift all the way.
Going back to the lingerie talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Confidence.
Next question.
Okay. Yes.
I love this one. Richards.tiff asked, "Will it fix resting bitch face?"
Oh, that's a great question.
It definitely can. It definitely can help that. Yeah, I use neuromodulators a lot for that, which is Botox. Botox, yeah.
Wait, what is resting bitch face? So is it where this goes down? My smile goes down too.
She's still a bitch.
Only on days. My smile goes
1 week of the month. We only have one good week of the month. Right? The rest of the 3 weeks of the month for a female is just a wild card.
That's your problem.
But my smile goes down. What do you do to fix my smile? You Botox the corner?
So there's muscles, lower face, that you can Botox that will address the corners of the mouth, especially in females. I don't care how young they are. I'm looking at that because it can make a girl not have friends or a date if she's walking around like this, but she doesn't know it because it's just the way her muscles move.
Yeah, it's just the way you look.
Right.
It's just you in a resting.
If you were, sitting with someone and they just looked like they were pissed off all the time, you're mentally going to think,
wow, she's really mad.
Yeah, they're mad. Like, God, what's their problem? I don't want to invite them over to dinner. I don't want to go dancing with them. So it's like, so there's just certain features that need to match. And so definitely threads can help with that. But you have to address the underlying issue, like building the face house of what is actually causing the corners of the mouth to fall down. Is it the muscle? Is it their age? Is it laxity? Is it hereditary? So I think that using, other dynamics, other modalities to look at that, and then using threads to kind of help lift that tissue, if they're heavier here, definitely can play a role. Absolutely.
So if, on to the next question, there are a couple questions about like who is or is not a candidate. And you touched on it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Are there anybody that like maybe like autoimmune disease that you would say maybe you shouldn't be a candidate for this? You
have to look at the healing factor on that. So that I definitely in a consult ask questions related to health. So it all
comes out in the consultation, but it's not necessarily a no-go if. Yeah.
Not necessarily, not on that. Not on that type of treatment.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Easy. Mm-hmm. Hey, this isn't a question for Erin at all.
Oh.
Because nothing hurts you. Mm-hmm. Does it hurt? And how long does it take?
Everyone's everybody's perception of pain is different. It's sore. It's spicy. That comes in the consult. If I have a patient that is scared of everything and they are just like scared, they even want to freak out with Botox, I'm probably not going to have the thorough thread conversation with them. So I definitely pick my patients wisely.
So it's
I do have the talk. I tell them, girl, you are afraid of Botox. We're not even.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will say this, is that most of my patients that are a little bit apprehensive, but they're like, oh, I'm so scared it's going to hurt, I'm not sure. They all come out saying, that was not bad at all.
I was nervous because I was like, wait, you're going to. Because I'd never even heard of it.
So yeah, we're not a thread state. Like it's not like there's some states that you can talk about threads just like you're in the same conversation as Botox. It's like the same. It's like, LA's one, Florida.
So like you wouldn't put it on the same level as like getting zapped by a dog fence.
I've never been zapped by a dog fence. Sean, do you want to tell me that?
I'm just trying to put some levels on it. You know what I mean?
I've been zapped by a dog fence. I didn't think it was so bad either.
Okay.
It's just a shock.
Well, it's like
would you put threading below? It
is tender. That's a good word.
It's tender, yes.
It's a whole different sensation.
It's a whole different. I feel like doing a chemical peel is more annoying because your skin's burning and itching a little bit for about 90 seconds. That's more annoying, I think, than the thread lift.
Okay.
Actually, doing the thread lift didn't hurt when I left. It didn't hurt.
Well, you're still numb.
But it just became sore later.
Yeah, so you took medicine later.
But when she stitches your skin up and it's like all wrinkled up here, and you're like, and you're looking, she shows you a mirror. I'm like, wait, we're doing what?
Yes.
Because I was so confused, but literally I had a bunch of like skin up here, like pulled up, and then she releases it.
Yes.
And
so you kind of feel the popping, or you can hear the popping.
You can hear, you can hear it.
So I feel like we're talking everyone out of it.
No, like
because it's not bad. You don't feel any of it.
We're trying to give you everything. Everything is as honest as possible. But Erin loved it.
I do feel like you talk about it more now, and it's been at least 8. It's 10 weeks, almost 3 months since we did it.
Probably around there.
Right. So you're seeing even better results with it now, which is the case because you can do I never really call them afters in my room. Like when I'm doing an after picture, I'm like, it's still settling. It's still settling. You have some swelling. Of course, everything looks better when it's, a little juicier and swollen. You do see some lift, but the magic really starts to happen around 6 weeks and even longer as the threads are adjusting to the skin and as they are they're building collagen. So yes.
That's cool.
You guys know I love some collagen. So I take collagen. I use collagen. Yes. I inject collagen in my face.
Whatever it takes.
Give me collagen, baby, all the way.
Whatever it takes.
You're
also the perfect candidate. Really, you are your age. So I would say I'm
46 if you don't know.
Mm-hmm, majority of the patients I like doing the threads on are going to be mid-30s up until like later 40s, early 50s. After
that, you have a lot of extra skin.
We have to consider the anatomy of a patient that's over 50. Even though sometimes their face health and their skin doesn't look quite, like 50, you have to consider their expectations and, of course, the just the anatomy underneath the skin of what's going on. And are they okay with a 15% improvement? And are they okay with it being non-surgical? Because, non-surgical is a marathon, not a race. It's a cumulative amount of treatments that in the end result look really great and natural if you set the expectations right. So
incremental steps,
exactly.
Patience with the length of how it's going to take.
My goal, and I've told you this over and over, is to keep my face as natural as we can, as little of Botox. I'm okay with wrinkles. I just don't want them to be as harsh. We wanted to soften them. And that's kind of been my goal. But when I fix my teeth, then you fix my chin as well.
Oh, yeah. So that's building the face house. Bringing that chin.
That's another.
I don't know if you ever even knew that.
Yeah, I did. No, you did. You always tell me.
And we saw that in your picture that you posted about your driver's license.
Yeah. So what was that? Yeah, I don't know.
That's filler in the chin. So
that's
chin
for another
and jawline is adding. I enjoy doing that first before I do your thread lift. Adding the volume to the chin and the jawline. And then doing the thread lift. Like I'll do the volume replacement first.
But why, after fixing my teeth, do you think the chin, because it's just imbalance or what? So in other words,
remember I catch you in the rebrand. I see what you're doing with your teeth, and then I'm like, oh, now I can introduce her to her chin, and she'll understand it better of what I'm.
So my teeth used to go out about a mile. But now they're back like to half a mile. So that's awesome. It's a really big difference.
Well, you did not the Invisalign. You did the
Smile Direct Club.
Yes. So that actually,
a game changer.
I tell all my patients.
I can't believe you mentioned the competition. Go Smile Direct Club. Smile Direct Club for life.
No, I don't care.
I was making sure. I was making sure. But when you're doing, I always encourage dental improvement because that's also helping to align your jaw too.
Makes a big difference.
Big difference. Mid-face, everything. Because if you start.
We could make out and not like clang teeth.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh,
no,
yes.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
We just had to wait till year 10. 12. Year 12. 13.
Of age. Yes.
All right, guys. This was fun. Oh, wait. One final question is, what does it cost?
Threads.
Huge question.
Threads are going to start around $2,000. And you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for.
So in other words, on facial stuff, don't try to find the cheapest. Try to find good quality. You're looking for people that know how to inject. Don't let everybody inject your face. And now, guys, if you're looking for a good person, actually I have a lot of my followers actually fly into Nashville to see
Erin,
you.
If I could give a shout out to all of your friends on social that see me in the office, awesome. They are my absolute favorite. They get like first in line. Like your friends on social are some of my favorite clients, and they're all down for a rebrand. They're fun. They cuss. They care. I just love them. I enjoy them.
And now it's going to be new friends on YouTube.
Really cool.
I do.
And Apple Podcasts.
And they love
available
you.
Now.
And it's an all over approach when you're talking about pretty muscles, pretty face, pretty skin. It's all part of the confidence building that I know we both love to share what we do and our advice and education so everybody else can be confident also.
That's really cool. But what I would love to see is for people, if they're like, holy cow, this is so overwhelming. I don't even know where to start with my face. Go to somebody either local, come into Nashville. If you're in Nashville, you do like face mapping.
Oh, yeah.
And then you kind of...
The consult and the facial mapping and the treatment plan options are, I think,
and you kind of line it out. And even if they did all this, they don't always have to come to Nashville to have it all done, but you could go somewhere else, right, to have it done if they don't come to Nashville. Or do you...
Right. No.
You could help line them up of ideas to start here, build,
and questions
build.
to ask their provider, and then maybe red flags in providers too.
So yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot of that on the Nashville Beauty Girl.
I do, and I'm going to be talking about it more.
Excellent.
So her Instagram is TheNashvilleBeautyGirl. And where do you work at? What?
I'm at High Tef Aesthetics.
I always say, I call him
plastic surgeon.
I call him Haytef, and so I knew I was going to say it wrong, so that's why I had her say it.
He'll answer anything.
He's awesome, dude.
He's awesome.
I love that dude.
You got to have him on.
You got to stick around. We're ending here, but we're going to have a video of this process.
Yes, you guys can watch the video now and tell me what you think of it.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, this is a quickie, simple explanation of a typical thread treatment appointment. Enjoy. You're going to really enjoy this being more lifted and then this being more lifted, so we have more of like that V shape. First, we are making the entry poke to place the thread. And then next, I'm placing the thread under the dermis of the skin. This is done via cannula. As I twist the cannula out of the skin, the thread remains under the skin. It's a dissolvable thread. It'll produce collagen lift for the next 12 months. And you can see she's so comfortable. She had a lidocaine injection prior, and honestly, it's probably the worst part of this treatment is the lidocaine poke. So next, I am pulling traction on the skin. The tiny anchors attached to the thread, they grab onto the skin tissue, and it results in a 2 to 3 millimeter lift. And then lastly, I'm going to trim the thread. So I trim the thread down to the skin. And then I'm going to apply a Band-Aid. And here we go. So this is before and directly after her thread treatment. Best results are in 4 to 6 weeks. And they continue to improve, in my opinion, over the next 8 months. Especially when you're the right candidate. But wow. You can instantly see that her folds, the heaviness near her jowl, the corner of her lip, it's raised just by raising and lifting that cheek.
So that was my first time seeing it. Usually I'm with Erin during procedures, and I didn't go for that one. And that is wild.
It is wild, but it doesn't hurt. You might look at it and be like, oh, she's... It really doesn't hurt. You're numb.
She's laying there very calm, very comfortable.
Super calm. And with the video on her. She did great.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to your patient.
Yeah, she did awesome.
I choose them well.
And you said it's... I don't remember. You said it's about 15 minutes.
You're booked out for an hour with me, but it's 15 minutes.
I really thought it would take longer than that. Okay.
But
it's minimally invasive.
You know why? It's because you're a badass. That's why it takes 15 minutes, because you're a badass and you know what you're doing.
Keep feeding me. Keep feeding me.
I'll feed you all day long. You keep feeding me and I'll keep feeding you. You keep glowing me.
I'm more to affirmation. What are you?
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Clean the house.
We know your physical touch, Sean.
I'm all of them, but she just refuses to do any of them. I'll do any of them.
You're a unicorn.
Sean really is actually, I think, all of them. Mm-hmm. He would love for this, or he loves gifts. He loves, I think you love all of them.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the topic. Hey,
I know, sorry.
We threaded it up. That's okay. All right, guys. Hey, leave any questions, comments in here, and actually leave your comments below about what you would love for us to bring the Nashville Beauty Girl on to really hyper focus on again. So this one was on threads. What would you guys really love to learn about, hear about? Maybe it's like facelift. I don't know. Maybe it's something I haven't done that you guys want to hear about too.
A live Botoxing of Sean.
I'm dying for that.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Sean loves needles. He loves needles.
I hate needles. Oh my God.
I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her how much you DM me telling me you secretly want Botox.
Yeah.
I saw it on his.
I know, but I told him I'd keep it a secret.
I DM a lot of pretty women. I don't remember what I said.
Hey, well, you guys were awesome. Thanks for tuning into Oprah's Open Mic.
The
Have the best day.